Today we'll take a look at the biggest gaming disasters that released in 2023 so far, and to be honest with you, the list is pretty damn long.
God damn it!
So let's have a look at the first game on our list, shall we? First on our list we have a game that many players were excited for, perhaps even one of the most anticipated games in 2023. What we're especially taking into account with this specific game here is its asking price of $79.99. Now to bring this into perspective, that's 20 euros more than most other AAA games on Steam. Anyways, Forspoken's release came and the now inevitable scenario happened. The game was review bombed and people who were skeptical about Forspoken in the first place were right all along. What the game delivered for its unusually high price is a huge bland world with close to no interesting things to do, obnoxious unlikable characters.
Like that?
You absolutely sound like that.
No, you absolutely sound like that. Yeah, see? Two can play at that game.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved shit with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just moved shit with my freaking mind! Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, talk to sentient cuffs, kill jacked up beasts.
And broken performance paired with frequent crashes on PC, even on the highest available hardware configurations that you could get. Now if this is what we're getting in the future for a premium price of $80, which is at best a mediocre game, then I think we're in for a ride, and not a pleasant one. Next up we have a game that just recently came out and, in 2023, is locked at 30 FPS on console.
I was once called relentless, you know. Relentless and absurd, but still relentless.
Yes, we're talking about Redfall now. Redfall was supposed to be an exciting co-op shooter set in a vampire-infested world. But not only does the game still suffer from serious performance issues and PC crashes, the game unfortunately also falls short of its promised potential. Despite much anticipation, the world it offers is bland and uninspiring, lacking the immersive qualities that make video games so engaging. The combat mechanics are clunky and unsatisfying, making the experience more frustrating than fun. The characters feel forced and cringeworthy, leaving players feeling disconnected from the story. The narrative itself is poorly written, failing to create any captivating moments. Overall, Redfall is a disappointing release that fails to live up to the hype, and leaves players feeling let down. Wukong was supposed to be an epic open-world adventure set in ancient China, with stunning graphics and engaging gameplay. However, the game's launch was, like Forspoken and Redfall's, plagued by serious optimization issues, including stuttering frame rates, long loading times. Players even reported glitches and bugs that hindered their progress and made the game borderline unplayable. The biggest issue, however, were the controls, as the developers have brazenly implemented the controller's dead zones into the mouse input, which pretty much means that if you don't move your mouse fast enough, the camera will not react at all. Not very practicable for a fast-paced action RPG. When the game actually ran, it was a mixed bag for most players, the general consensus being that it didn't really live up to the standards of Nioh 1 and Nioh 2. Next up is a game that really bugs me that it's on this list, as I enjoyed the game very much, just like I enjoyed the original. And while I personally had no problems with The Last of Us Part 1 remake on my PC, the absolute majority of players reported numerous issues when it comes to optimization. We are talking about all the classics here: crashes to desktop, freezes, stutters, visual bugs, and the list goes on. That's actually no surprise, as the game's recommended system requirement for 4K ultra settings lists a 4080 and 16 gigs of RAM for 30 FPS 720p gaming with low preset settings. The game looks very good in 4K, don't get me wrong, but not nearly good enough to justify a 4080 as a requirement. What's also interesting about this port is that Sony hired the most infamous PC porting team, Iron Galaxy, which are known for the terrible Arkham Knight PC port that I believe was never really fixed, even though Sony actually owns Nixxes, the most famous PC porting team. You would think for a PlayStation Classic of this caliber, Sony would only want the best team to be working on a PC port of such an important IP. Next we have a game that looked very promising as an alternative for fans of the Monster Hunter series, but only delivered even more frustration for PC players. Wildhearts promised an exciting adventure through a magical world, with vibrant visuals and an engaging soundtrack. And while the game can very well be a fun alternative to the Monster Hunter games, this fun should once again be reserved exclusively for players who buy the game on console, as PC players still have to deal with miserable performance more than 2 months after its release. I want to mention that this game asks a price of €70, and the developers apparently are not very keen on trying to improve their Steam rating that is getting lower every day, due to lacking effort on their behalf to make a game that they're asking full price for playable. For some reason they think it's okay to immediately charge a customer, but take months to deliver the promised product. And that brings us to our final game, for now. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was one of the most highly anticipated games of the year, but despite its clear potential, it falls short of expectations due to, once again, performance issues and crashes. Although the gameplay itself is impressive, the game's technical problems make it virtually unplayable for many. The developers once again appear to have released an unfinished product, yet still expect players to pay full price for it. The result is a frustrating experience that leaves players feeling shortchanged and disappointed. Given the history of poorly optimized PC game launches in recent months, it's surprising that the developers didn't take more care to ensure the game was playable on release. It's clear that consumers are tired of buying games that are essentially broken, and it's up to game developers to make sure they don't fall into this category. With the vast amount of resources available to them, it's only reasonable to expect that game developers should prioritize optimization and quality assurance in order to provide the players with a seamless experience. Until the technical problems are resolved, it's hard to recommend it to anyone. As we approach the halfway mark of 2023, it's clear that there have been some major gaming disasters. From unplayable releases to broken promises, it's been a tough year for gamers already. While we cannot change the past, we can hope that game developers will take note of these issues and work to provide better experiences for players in the future. Here is hoping that the rest of 2023 will bring some much needed improvement to the gaming industry and that we won't need a part 2 of this video. Anyways, I'm out. I'll see you next time with hopefully a more positive topic to talk about.